And we are going live. All right. Oh, I gotta fix that. Hey, welcome to the technical difficulties of launching a stream when Brad's not here. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Table Talk Thursdays.
How does the stream run smoother when the old man is the one running the show? Can anyone
Well,
explain?
I
He
can't
has the most
explain that.
experience.
I
He
can't
does it
explain
every
that.
day.
Oh, look, I'm putting hearts on the stream now. Great. I can't explain that because Brad gets to know more than an hour ahead of time that he's doing it. So when I find out an hour ahead of time, let me be very clear about how this went down. I am half naked downstairs in my living room playing the new Zelda game because today is my first day of summer break. 40K was not on my mind until Brandon texted me a little bit ago. So this is a pretty quick recovery, and I'm pretty proud of the turnaround time on this.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good.
Great. But are you enjoying Tears of the Kingdom, though, Lyle?
I told Heidi earlier, the fun thing about it is I have not played a Zelda game since Majora's Mask, so I have no idea what's going on, and I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I'm just kind of figuring it out.
I've been playing it since it launched. Eloise and I have been playing it. We probably put about 40 hours into it so far, and we're not even close to being done.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
So it's the best way I can explain it, Tom, is it's a Zelda game, but it's also a nonsense sandbox thing where you can like make random contraptions and like you make your own cars and you make like traps that can attack monsters, and it's kind of like you can do whatever you can imagine, but it's also a Zelda game.
I think I am liking the way that sounds.
Yeah.
Also, we're really bad. Forgot to do our introductions.
Yeah, we kind
We're
of skipped that
just
step.
excited.
All right, let's get the host up first.
All right, so I am the most flustered man in 40K, Lyle Dixon.
I have so many questions right now. But you guys may know me. I'm Brandon Valley, member of Death of Glory, and also Still Frosty Gaming.
I'm Brian Horton, the TO of the Salt City GT in Syracuse, New York, the first 10th edition GT in the United States.
And I am probably the most confident person in DOG because I always think I'm going to win a game even when I'm getting crushed. Tom Sogden.
Sorry.
But real quick, still Frosty Gaming. You just mentioned that. So, what is that?
So, Still Frosty Gaming is just a art studio that I've been working on helping people upgrade their armies with bases and display boards and terrain. And most recently helped out Mr. Brad Chester with his Space Wolves. So we took him from an army that looked like he got eaten by a cat to something that he's proud to put on the table. And right now that army is playing out at Kansas City, and it was at MCM all weekend, and he loved every minute of it. And he especially loved those Peak Unicorn Thunderhammers that I did up for him.
Well, I
So
see
he's
them
super
at
happy.
I see them at MCM. They look good.
They did.
So if somebody wanted to get your guys' services to spice up their army, how would they do that?
Just reach out to me at Still Frosty Gaming on Instagram, Facebook, or stillfrostygaming@gmail.com. I'll be in touch with you as soon as I get it.
And we'll have to put those links into the description when we get
there
back
we
to this
go.
video. Yeah, so people can check that out.
And then Mr. Brian Horton, we see your picture there. We see Salt City GT. We're getting kind of close to that, ain't we?
Yep, so it's July 7th, 8th, and 9th, the 7-round 10th edition 40K GT. Looking to get to 100 players, hopefully, for 40K. We also have Age of Sigmar, Marvel Crisis Protocol, and Kill Team events going on there. But the main event is the 40K event. It's going to be 7 rounds, 3 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, giving you some time on Saturday night to enjoy some hanging out and time with your friends. The nice part about it is we are doing something very unique that I think is really good with only being a couple weeks into the edition. We're doing, you're required to have 1,500 points of your army painted, not the full 2,000. So therefore, if you needed to add some units and you don't have enough time to get them done, but between the edition change, you can still come in and get your painted points. It's a really nice way to play, get going, and get running in what's really going to be the wild, wild west of everyone trying out stuff. It's going to be a grand time.
Oh yeah. And real quick, them pictures behind you, those some cool looking belts and rings. Are those up for grabs?
So for our best overalls for both Age of Sigmar and 40K, get a golden ticket to the U.S. Open Grand Championships in Atlanta from Games Workshop, and then they get these lovely title belts. The winners for Marvel Crisis Protocol and Kill Team both get those stunning championship rings as well, along with all the other prizes. I think there's in total like 32 prizes for 40K.
Nice.
So, yeah.
32 prizes with 100 people. Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, we really want it. We really want you to come out and have a good time, and we want to give you something for coming out pretty much. So, and one of the nice part is for everyone that comes in your swag bag, I contacted a guy from KW Design who does like 3D printed tokens and stuff, and you're getting a set of Battle Shocked tokens to put by your units. So it's something really nice as a
That's
giveaway.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Brian, I have a question in chat that I think is very important. But are you giving out a pair of golden overalls for best overall?
If I could figure out how to pull it off, maybe.
I think we need to look into that. Someone has to do that.
This could be something we can do from events moving forward. That's
Yeah, we
kinda
got to
what
figure
it
this out.
is.
Yeah.
I did. The fun part is we would buy them all mine and Tom's size, so no matter who won them, it would just be massive.
Then you could
Well,
give out
hear
like
me out.
best two overalls, and one person goes in each leg.
Well, maybe we gotta think about this in a different light. Like if you look at like the Michigan Ohio State rivalry, right? Every time Ohio State wins, they get a little golden pair of pants. They like a necklace charm or something like that. And I could be wrong because I'm a Michigan guy, not Ohio State, but I've watched the documentary a couple of times. And I guess like one of the coaches says, hey, back in the day when Michigan was just curb stomp Ohio State, it was like, guys, they put their pants on one leg at a time like us, and that became like a tradition for them where every time they win, they get that little charm. Maybe we could do a charm like that, like a little pair of golden overalls and like a little gold. That'd be kind of cool. Best over. I like that.
Apparently, we
Or
phrased
Ryder
something weird and sexual, and I don't know what it was, so we all missed it. Chat's calling us
We
out
did?
on it. I have no idea what it was.
What did we say?
I don't know. Something with phrasing. But that sounds like us.
Pretty cool
Completely
happened
oblivious,
today.
right?
So, guys, something pretty cool happened today.
What happened today?
So, we're at 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
This morning at 7 o'clock, we hit 1,000 subscribers.
8 months. We took us 8 months, and we finally did, boys. 1,000 subscribers. Pretty cool. That means.
All right. So,
it's
Tom,
gonna
you're
get
going to take your shirt off now, right?
Get out, Brian said no. I was giving you guys like 10 seconds to veto.
Brian's the adult. He said no. Okay.
I'll do it.
Here's the question.
Right.
Would that make the subscriber count go up or down?
My milkshake bring all the boys to the yard. We'll probably lose some of our PG crew, but we'll gain a lot of weird people in this chat real quick.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Well,
So just
no,
to put it in
we're
perspective-
very thankful for everyone's support that you guys have got us this far, and we are excited about this is the first milestone we've hit, and we're excited about what this means we can do moving forward for sure.
I mean, hitting 1K is a big deal. It's the hardest thing to hit in a milestone. Once you hit 1K, start getting, your channel starts going to algorithms, and other options become available to us. Not to mention things like GW might consider us for support now because you have to have 1K before they even consider you. So it's a good thing. It's good growth. It means good things for us and good things for the people who watch us because now we can start doing more things for them. So I'm pretty excited about it. Got a pretty good crew on the night too. That's why you don't typically see me on a Thursday show. But Brad asked me to come on because he's not gonna be a night. But it's also kind of cool because our 1K subscriber celebration.
We're also talking Black Templars tonight, Tom.
This is a good thing. A good
We
thing.
had
I
the
like.
beta.
Yes, that we're winning. I think the most important thing we're talking about though is like Salt City GT, in my honest opinion. First GT in 10th edition. It's gonna be one of the biggest changes and additions we've seen. And usually the first couple events are the most fun because nobody's figured out the meta yet. So it's just a wild, wild west. So, I mean, honestly, if you guys haven't signed up for the Salt City GT and you're considering it, please do so because, like, it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Brad's going to be out there. I'm going to be out there. A lot of DLG's going to be out there. Brian's a fantastic TO, so if you've ever been to one of his events, you got to go there because he runs, a great event. I mean, if we look at MCM, for example, we just had probably, I think, our most successful MCM. Our player count was a little bit lower than last year, but that's because we have a new edition coming out, and a lot of people don't go to events when they're ready for the new edition. But it wasn't much down, but new venue, it ran super smooth. It's the first year that I wasn't really involved running the 40K stuff. It was pretty much DeFrank and Horton show, and they did a fantastic job. So,
Don't forget Matt. Matt did a phenomenal job as well.
Yeah. Matt's a fantastic judge, but I'm talking about the two people that kind of like ran the show. And, there's a lot of people in the background like Matt, but, Matt's a fantastic judge. That kid's been, that's his second year because he showed up number 2. And he's just, what can we say about him? He just Matt James. He just shows up and does whatever you need him to do. Yeah. He's eager to help. He's so friendly.
So can I say my one thing about Motor City that we had happen that I've never had happen in years of running events? So we kind of did hey, give us your vote for your best sport that you played, your favorite game. And I gave out little cards to fill out to every player. And like always when you do that, you get about half of them back. But one player got 5 of his 6 opponents to turn in a card saying they were his favorite opponent. Tim Detlefs.
Yeah,
and it
was been 6 potentially because we just stopped collecting at that point. Like we didn't give his opponent like a chance to turn it. He might have got 6.
Might have, but I'm telling you, that was a phenomenal thing to see where one player just gave everyone a great play experience.
I mean, the guy is fantastic. Not only is he a super skilled opponent, I mean, the guy's had games where he's even crushed people like me. Like, we played LVO, and the dude basically knocked me out of top tower for season because he beat me so bad. But the best thing is, like, while he plays, whether he's winning or losing, he's one of the best sports I've ever seen. I met him at LVO and we became good friends. Now he's a captain of DOG Canada, and he's at one of the coolest teams in all of DOG, I think. The guys are fantastic, great sports. He's just a pleasure to be around, whether he's playing the game against them or he's at your game watching, or if you're just hanging out with him. I love the dude, love his team. Well deserved. He also took best custodes from MCM. So, I mean, just all around class, whether it's sportsmanship, being a human being, or being a competitive person, you can't ask for much better than him. So
those awards were awesome, by the way.
I like the trophies, actually. We had the little skull trophies last year, which they were super cool. But, I mean, I just felt like this year I wanted to go all out on it because MCM's our flagship. So we had, like, this huge bust of trophies. They were massive. People loved them. I was very proud of them because I'm not very artistic. And I had a lot of people coming and telling me they liked the trophies, and I'm the one that did them. Well, DK printed them, but put them together and I painted them. So not much skill in painting, if I'm being honest. Mostly red out canning and
Tom, I have to point out your trophies were not the best trophies there. Someone in chat mentioned that we should talk about the paint classes. We had Eric Swinson, a world-renowned miniatures painter, come out and teach a paint class at MCM. And in their paint class that lasted 2 days, Eric Swinson gave out his personally painted mini as the trophy for the best painted miniature in the paint class, which did go to a DOG member, went to Heidi. So I have to say, as great as your trophies were, we did have DOG collect an even better trophy from Eric Swinson.
First off, that paint class was awesome, and I'm hoping he comes back next year because we're going to increase our efforts in advertising. So for people who's been in the first couple years of MCM and this one, we didn't do as much this year because we went to a brand new venue and we didn't understand what the limitations of the venue was, and it was more of like learning about it and seeing what we could do there. And man, that venue is awesome, by the way. Everyone loved it except for there was a $10 parking because it is like a suburban showcase, so they charge for parking on the weekends. Unfortunately, I do apologize for that. I didn't know until we got there, but dude, like that, just watching his class. So getting back to the point, like his class was awesome. The people that learned a lot from that class, it was really cool to see. And just like when Heidi came out and showed me his first off the miniature he painted was like this bust of a pirate lady, amazing. But just the stuff that Heidi learned from her, like she was showing me hers as well, and like hers was amazing. Like, and then I seen a couple other people, like, and everyone said they walked away from my class learning a lot. So it was pretty cool to see.
So a couple of things, Brian, where is Salt City GT?
It's in Syracuse, New York.
Okay, and going back to Matt. Matt's a fantastic guy. Tom, did you realize that Matt drove up all the way from southern Georgia on a 15-hour cross-country road trip to come up to Detroit with hobgoblins?
Yeah, with the hobgoblins, yeah.
And I totally met him in a parking lot in Knoxville at
Yeah.
12:30 at night.
First off, Matt's an absolute gem, and we are very blessed to have him as part of the team. At the famous ATC last year, when John Mistogden was dead, he showed up in the middle of the night to play on the team in case that man could not play.
I would say the one thing we can count on for Matt is that if DOG needs him, he will drive from southern Georgia to come help, no matter where that is or why that is.
I think he's moving up here soon. Hopefully he does, because I love it.
I've heard something about that too. Yeah.
What's up, Hootie? Welcome to the chat, brother.
Yeah, I want to
Hootie,
comment on what
DOG.
Hootie's saying, because Hootie, I walked away with the exact same feeling from MCM. I think we're going to talk about results and stuff on Monday when Brad's back to talk about how he did cleaning up. But the big takeaway I had from MCM as a player was, man, I got to start painting my crap. Like I'm tired of doing well and not walking away with as much to show for it as I want. I don't want one of these cool trophies, and the trophies come when you put paint on your miniature. So I got to figure that out.
Oh yeah. We at MCM we have a 300-point paint rubric. We put a lot of emphasis on paint.
And I judged every army.
Yeah. Unlike some GTs, we have the same 2 or 3 people judge every army.
It was it was an interesting experience. The first time I fully used the rubric, I've looked it over. It's forgiving and harsh all at the same time, so it's kind of nice.
I wrote that rubric myself. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I made some changes to it. We'll read them together. But the one thing I want to have a conversation with, by the way, and I can't say it was bad because they were fair across the board, but the rubric is designed for the first 3. There's 5 categories. There's 5 rankings in every category, right? The first 3 are supposed to be super forgiving. Anyone who puts effort on their models are supposed to get their first 3 ranks. Ranks 4 and 5 are where you're supposed to be super harsh. And it's like we're almost reversed with that. Like, people had to really justify themselves to get to that 3rd ranking, and then we were a little bit more forgiving, it looked like. And I could be completely wrong because I was also at a different state of mind. We'll just put it that way.
You had a lot going on, Tom. You were
yourself
a man
and
going
relaxing
many
in your
different
tournament?
directions.
Well, it was the first event since August that I drank at, and that's because people would not stop bringing me drinks and getting upset that if I didn't drink them, including Brian. Brian's like, "Here you go, Tom. Go ahead and slam this drink down." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus."
I only brought you one, and it was at the end of the day.
That's true. But
That's
all
a gateway
day long,
drink.
we're
That
bringing
is a
drinks.
gateway
And
drink, Brian.
I have found out, since I haven't drank that much since August, like barely any drinks, I don't have a tolerance anymore. Like, when I was like slamming drinks all the time at events, I'd have like 10 shots and stuff like that, and I'd be fine. I had 4 drinks, and I was like, bro, I need to slow down. Like, I don't know what happened, but I cannot drink anymore.
I know my new strategy against Tom. If I play against him on the table.
Don't do that, please. I'll probably lose. Like, I gave me 4 drinks, and I was like, that was like my warm up before. Now I'm like, man, I get 4 drinks, and I'm like, oh. People come over and ask me questions, like, please go ask Brian or DeFrank. I don't want to mess up the ruling right now because I'm in a different world.
All right, Tom was sitting at the end of one of the tables, and I'm like, "How's the game looking, Tom?" He looks at me dead in the face and goes, "There's a game going on."
Yeah.
So Tom, one of the things I did notice about MCM, there was no stream. Do you guys think next year they'll be able to have a stream?
100%. That's one of the things that we didn't really know, like, because it's a big con center. We didn't want to advertise it. We're streaming, get out there. It's also like $4,000 for the weekend to have internet access for us. So we have basically an internet box. We just didn't know if it was going to work well there or not. We didn't want to advertise it and then not go through. The box crushed it there. So especially like when we had to make a decision whether we're streaming, I was like 2 or 3 weeks before, and Lyle went out there and was like, "Hey man, cell service just sucks out there," and our internet box is off cell service. I was like, "All right, we're not going to stream for sure," because there was a chance that I was going to do the stream. Because I knew I wasn't going to be running the event. Cause I want DeFrank to really take it over, and we had an amazing person to kind of help guide the experience with Brian being there. Because next year Brian is going to be more involved in advertising and sponsorship with me. So we needed to have somebody that was available for that because Brian's gonna be talking and controlling all the vendors next year. But it was good. Brian did a great job of like guiding to Frank. Frank did a great job with it. I was like, I'm not gonna have nothing to do, so I could stream, but I just didn't want to advertise and not be able to do it. So, but it went great. Next year there will be streaming again.
Someone in chat's mentioning Joe. We had Joe last year at MCM. We'd love to have him back. He's a great guy. Does an awesome job. I'm sure that would be opportunity we would love to see if it was available. But he's a very busy man. Everyone wants him to come stream now, so we'll just kind of see what happens there.
Yeah, we could definitely reach out and see what he wants. I think we have a pretty good shot if that's what we decide to do. We have to get a what do you guys want to call it, a board meeting, of which we have 3 of the members on here right now from it, to see if we want to do that, because when you get Joe now, it's something you have to pay for, right? He wants you to compensate like his gas stuff, which isn't fair. It's just something we have to decide if we want to commit to or not. I would love to have him out though. It's
there you go, Tom. We just need to stream the next board meeting so everyone can see how all the magic happens.
Oh yeah,
that's what people want to see.
Not that exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, I know it's a year from now because we just had it. I'm actually super excited for MCM next year. The venue was fantastic, and the growth we could see doing there, like, because compared to our old venue, which was cool and quaint, and I thought was pretty cool looking. At least the hall was. The rooms not so much. We were
that
just
hotel was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
We were just like stagnating, right? We couldn't grow much more from there. Sky's the limit at this place. There are so many halls, so many ways. Like we didn't even come close to filling the hall we had with more events.
There's room for easily 4 times as many people as was there.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't even close. Like, it was the most. It was like epic level spaciousness of tables. Like every table was only 3 matches, plenty easy to walk around when you had to. There's lots more room for sure.
And like first off, the air conditioning, they can control that many people no problem. The concession stands are actually inside the hall, and they're super fast with the food, and the food was pretty good. But this year we were aggressive in negotiations to make sure the price of the food and the rooms were down. Next year I'm going to see what we can do about parking for everyone. We'll see what we can do. I can't guarantee we'll be able to touch that, but we'll definitely put that in our negotiations. But it was a great event. We had more overwhelming responses this year than any year before. Like Tim and them from Canada literally texted me saying it was the best event they've been to in a long time. There will be tremendous amounts more Canadians next year. All the teams that came out, it was good. It was a very successful year, and it's not even. I'm not even going to try to credit because the events ran so smooth and I didn't even run the events. Like one of the guys who ran it on here right now with us is Brian, and the other one's Frank. So very, very, very gracious and pleased with what we did, and super excited what we give next year. And Anna, thank you very much for that. You're very kind, but we're blessed to have you at our events. You're a fantastic soul and a great paragon of our community. So thank you for those comments. But it's hard not to have fun when you bring such positive energy. But real quick before we go too far there, Brandon, you were at another event though, weren't you?
I was at another event. I was at the Rocky Top GT in Knoxville. And I was just about to bring that up because Kyle and I were there, and a couple other members of Death of Forgeworld were there, and we're just looking at pictures of what's going on over at MCM, seeing the trophies and seeing the all the accommodations you guys had, and we were a little jealous, not gonna lie. And I was showing my people I was playing against. I played a lot. I played 8 awesome people that weekend, and I was just showing them pictures like, oh man, we're missing out. And they're like, yeah, I think we're gonna go to MCM next year. So, like, we had XBZ there. There were a lot of the local teams, and just so you know, there's a lot of interest in MCM. So I think now that you have pictures of the new venue, now that you have these awards, just a little bit more advertisement, I think you'll hit your numbers. You'll get up to 240 in no time.
Well, the thing is, what hurt us this year a little bit, and I can't say it really hurt because we ended up selling just as many tickets. We just had 20 drops at the event because people didn't show up. But so we were a little bit nervous about a week or two before it because our numbers were really low, and then we did have a crazy surge at the end, but just not what we expected this year. But a lot of that stuff, like, we didn't really advertise as hard because we couldn't use pictures from last year's event because that's a totally different venue. So if we use pictures, people are expecting that venue and stuff, and you can't really do that. So our advertising was a bit light this year, but I mean, we took a lot of pictures this year, and we really stepped up some of our quality in some areas. So advertising next year is going to be a blast, and I'm super excited for it. But before, I don't want to just like sit here and kind of like not that you were doing it, but I don't want to like smack Rocky Top, because we had some of our guys out there who did really good. You did really good. You took fourth, was it?
Yeah, so I got fourth place and best overall, and I got a really
whoa! We're missing the most important detail.
Oh, no, we're getting to him. We're getting to
Brandon. No. But Brandon had the classic Brandon experience. Brandon cannot go to a major without a draw. He got another draw. This is his like fourth consecutive event with a draw or something.
This is not accurate whatsoever.
I think. Wait. He just got another draw. It's now 5 in a row.
Perfect. I'm proud of myself. I did get a draw. So Death of Glory was there. We had Ryan Kerr, who's the guy from South Carolina who I invited on the team back in April. So he's part of the Moo Crew, and he got third place with World Eaters. So he did really good.
Kyle's in the finals.
Kyle was in the finals at the top table on stream.
See, this
He was on
is the
stream
one thing
twice,
I don't like
believe.
about.
Yeah.
This is what I don't like about Top Cuts. The man's in the finals in the last round.
Well, there were no top cuts.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I don't like about events that don't have top cuts. In the finals in the last round and gets knocked down to like in the teens.
Yeah, it was like 11th or 12th.
That's just, I don't know, man. The dude deserved to be second place at that point. Like, if you're in top cut and you're in the finals in the last round, you're second place if you lose. The man deserved it. But Kyle, if you're watching, absolutely outstanding performance, brother. You've only been in 40K for like 4 months, something silly like that, and you're already at super majors and finals. So that's outstanding. But a lot of DOG at Rocky Top did really good. And the coolest thing about it is that we don't, while we're celebrating people in their performances, the best thing about these guys that we're going to talk about is that they also were fantastic sports. It's number one to us. We just think we want to celebrate people for both be a good sport and performance win, because it's a lot of work to put into it. But we looked at MCM as well. We had 5 of the top 8 in the 5 of the final 8, and that was super cool to see.
Just so happens that one of the guys from my team won best overall.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Who was that?
Mike Fox won best overall and beat out Matt Aaron, which is a big accomplishment.
Beast.
So my guys took top 2.
Best pin and best overall. But the thing is, I was just getting to him in a second before I said that. Technically, we had 6 in the top 8 because one of our guys didn't want to play because he wanted to do doubles, which the next DOG qualified for, and then he was like, "Oh man, I really want to do doubles too." So he dropped out, and then we went to someone else. We technically had 6 of the top 8.
So who are these 2 fine fellows who dropped out to play in the doubles?
Matt Tarantine dropped out playing Black Templars in his first final 8 ever. And then we had your guy Michael Fox on guard with an absolutely outstandingly. I'm just looking to see if I have pictures of it right now. Some of the best converted trader, and I don't even like traders, right? Everyone knows I don't like Chaos Marines. I don't like trader guard. This guy's army is so beautiful that I'd probably play it. It was fantastic.
He was playing the treasonous 13th.
But Tom, that to me, the fact that you had 2 people, the top 8, drop because they wanted to play in your doubles event shows how well run that doubles event is.
Well, yeah,
how fun is it?
Actually, it was Butters' first year running it, which was kind of cool. Butters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's usually Butters and Nick's like the main runner, but Nick couldn't show up this year. But he did a blast. People loved it. It made me want to play in it. Also, Matt Dennis, I want to call him out. He made a Finals 8 for his first time ever, and he didn't even know how Finals 8 worked. When he finally qualified, like, what's the Final 8? I'm like, all right, bro. Like, well, welcome to the GT. This is how this works. And he was ecstatic that he made it. So playing World Leaders, also a newer person to competitive play. Outstanding work.
He just had a baby.
Oh yeah,
He's a dad.
Chester himself cleaned up the event, won it, and then Hootie's first event as DOG. Dude's fantastic. He was also in top 8, and super excited to have him on the team. He's actually joined the OG squad, so excited to have him on the team. But it was a great event. But I mean, I don't want to just get here and just kind of toot our own horn.
Yes.
I'm saying we can talk about it forever, but I think we'll talk a little bit more about Monday.
Well,
So
let's go back a moment because I had a wonderful transition that Brandon ruined by changing topics. But if we want to talk, we're talking about drinking. If you guys would like to talk about something that's ready to make me drink, let's talk about Angels of Death spoilers today.
Oh man, where do you guys want to start?
Everyone who's watching,
Can we start with Space Wolves?
There's
No. I
25
want to
people.
start something. Please,
There's 25 people who are watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with your friends.
Please,
All right.
let me start, and then I'll give you Space Force. I just want to talk about a model, and then we'll talk about first.
All right.
We're
Well,
going
I have
in
the
order.
article up in stream, so I'm just going to scroll through it, and we're going to talk about it in order, because otherwise it's
We
going to
gotta
get
talk
real
about Dark
confusing.
Angels first.
Okay.
They're the first
Yeah.
chapter, right?
That's what I want to talk about. Is Lionel Johnson? Can anyone not tell me that this dude is a freaking? Look at guys, I'm not cussing. A freaking beast.
Well, let's hold on. He's the
Let's
third
start
thing.
order,
He's the
Tom.
third
You're
thing here.
excited.
Let's not skip to that yet. Let's start with. So we saw the Dark Angels detachment rule today. Grim Resolve. If any Dark Angels that get battle shocked can still hold objectives. What do you guys think about that?
Fantastic.
I think it's pretty good. I like it, except that everything else that's shown after this is much better.
I mean, I was like, this is a pretty good just general rule for the army, and yeah,
Oh,
everything does get better.
good.
But this is a great baseline just to be like, okay, we can always play the game.
The
No,
fact
we
that
also need to,
that
we need to
and
keep in
Lionel
mind they
Johnson-
still get Osa moment too.
Yes.
Right?
yeah.
we
So
gotta
you
keep
get
that
they
in
get
mind.
Osa
It's
moment, and this
moment
they
and
don't
this.
get any of the 3 doctrine abilities. They can't like advance and shoot or advance and charge or whatever it is.
Yeah, they don't get doctors, they get that instead. But they always get to hold objectives, which is kind of cool. So like, the things you use your like OC2, and if you get battle shot, you go down to OC0. Nope, you're still 1. So you're still always holding objectives. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. You look at the the Deathwing Command Squad, super good. Talking about like Apothecary gives that unit feeling no pain now, and they can revive them out on that unit. So the Apothecaries have taken a nerf, right? If we just talk about that.
There's no
Don't
feel
guys
no pain,
think-
Tom.
What's up?
There's no feel no pain. He just brings Smile back from the dead.
I'm pretty sure they give us 6-up feeling pain.
Darthesium, you can return 1 destroyed model to this unit in your command phase.
So you just get him all back for free.
Yeah.
he comes with
Lionel
the-
Johnson gives nearby units a 4-up feeling or a 6-up feeling of pain against mortals. That might be what you're thinking.
No. I might have just revealed something I wasn't supposed to reveal then.
Good talk.
Yeah, it totally doesn't give a feeling of pain.
Good talk, Com. All right. So moving
I'm
on.
proud of you.
This as great as one, I did like how they're making you bring back the command squad as a whole, because like people were not playing anything other than the apothecary for the most part since 8th edition came out.
Whoa. I was taking my two-man Terminator squads, sir.
Sure. At what point did you have any game where you played all 5 models in your army?
No, just
Okay.
2 guys.
Sure. That's my point. This was the, I don't know if we had seen it in another article, but I saw it first in this picture, and it really bummed me out for what's coming later. Thunderhammer down to 2 damage. Don't love
we
that.
saw that with the Captain release.
Yeah, I just may not have noticed it. Don't love a 2 damage Thunderhammer for reasons that we'll get to. I do love how versatile they're making all these Terminators, though. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of choices. All right, Tom. Now Lionel Johnson's on the screen. Go ahead.
Oh my god, thank you. When we talk about, first off, I've been on a Lionel Johnson kick for a little while because I know some people don't like the book and some people love it. I freaking love his lore right now. Him come back, redeeming some of the fallen, and just the way he's like this stubborn guy that's like realize like one of the lines he's like, how can I fault these guys for not seeing that their leaders were traitors when I couldn't even see my own brothers were traitors, was just a cool concept as a person, like his character development, right? Look at, so not only am I already pumped about the dude because of his fluff, but we look at this guy's stat line. Like toughness 9, so Malta's gonna wound him on 5s. Awesome. 3-up invulnerable save, hell yeah. -1 to wound, love it. And then we look right here. What is this thing right here? All secrets revealed. Once per turn, when your opponent targets a unit from their army with a stratagem, but before the stratagem effects are resolved, units within 12 inches of model, you gain 1 CP. So I could just get a CP for free, which is hilariously awesome. But now they take a battle shock. If they fail that battle shock, that stratagem is still counted as being used, but it doesn't go off.
I mean, you have to pick that in your command phase because that is one of the selections from Primarch of the First Legion.
Oh yeah.
But it is super powerful.
It's not bad. I mean, if you're looking at Marshall Exemplar, like you already get full rerolls, so hitting on 2s with full rerolls isn't that big of a deal, right? But and then the 4-up Field of Pain against mortals, like, okay, that's probably going to be the always picked ability.
Well,
Unless you really need something.
I could see you taking the 4 up against certain armies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Certain
be.
armies.
Well, it'll be
You
certain
go-
turns where you need it. You don't even need it all the time.
Well,
Yeah, you
think
choose
go
each
get an
command
army
base.
like Brad wants to try to find something that has like the most devastating wounds. Oh, okay. Well, now I got no hiding from the Watchers, and boom, there goes that breaking combo. But the thing is, like the dude has a 3-up invuln, which they're not supposed to be in the game anymore, right? Got it anyways with a -1 to wound. But
with a T9 model.
I think you guys are also missing.
Wait, Melta's wound on 6. Now think about it. Melta's wound him on 6s because he has
Tom, it's 5. Melta's went up to strike 9.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They decreased the range a little bit, and they went up to strike 9.
But I also want to point out that we're overlooking a very important keyword on him. Fights first. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And he has 16 attacks with the sword, with sustained hits. He's putting the beats out on Orc Squad. That's all I'm saying.
I love this dude, man. I love this dude.
He's just got an impressive data sheet.
Yeah. And there's like a part
I told Heidi that we might need to look at seeing what if we need to buy a Lionel Johnson and paint him red, because I'm still trying to figure out what Space Marine chapter I want to be playing moving forward. This is a pretty good argument that maybe a all-comers Dark Angels list would be pretty strong.
Like, the thing is, like, I know I'm kind of committed to, like, the Grey Knights right now because I love the redeploys every turn, because you guys know how much I love redeploys. But, man, I saw this, like, maybe it's time to bust out the Green Boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is... Also, we're not even talking about his melee weapons. The dude has 16 attacks on sweeps with sustained hits.
So on average, you're getting, 14 hits? And then you get additional hits?
Yeah, if you
because
do...
on a 6 you get on a 6 day you get additional hits.
Oh yeah.
So you're averaging about 14. 14, 15.
No, you're averaging 16. You're gonna have 2 point.
Yeah, you should average 16 because the math on exploding 6s is the same as +1 to hit. So exploding 6s when you hit on 2s is the same as just hitting on 1s.
Yeah. Man, dude is a beast. Absolute beast. Fluff got him is just awesome, and just to see him have a cool model, I'm super excited for it.
And something for everyone to know, like, if you didn't get this model already, don't fret. Like, after the launch of this edition, this is going to be one of the first models being released. So don't go spending $200 on eBay to buy this model.
Yeah,
just wait till GW releases it. It'll probably be about $60. Just wait. It'll come out in June. June, July.
Or just do what I did and have absolutely amazing friends who find you one. I was talking to Butters, because everyone knows he's my one of my main painters, and he's putting like Grey Knights together, and he's like, so dude, I'm gonna buy you an army just because you're like putting together and painting them for me. He's like, what do you want? He's like, think about going, Dark Angels. He's like, we're gonna need a line. He's like, oh, I need to try to find one. I was like, no, I'll get you one. I said on all the things. Miss Hannah found me one in like 10 minutes. I was like, hell yeah. So just have amazing friends like me, I have no problem. But
yeah, someone in chat's mentioning that none of his rules. I'm scrolling back up because I had gone into the Space Wolf stuff. None of his rules say Dark Angels only, but I believe what they said early in the article is that you cannot mix any units that have a chapter listed with other in a detachment that has units from other chapters. They specifically said like you can't have. I don't remember where it was, but they're like saying you can't have Dark Angels and Space Wolves in the same detachment, but that may not be true for just Lionel. I'm not sure.
It's in the paragraph above Dark Angels. It says that you can't mix other chapters.
I think it's the Primarch keyword or Epic Hero or something like that. One of them allows the Primarchs to be in other detachments.
Yeah, he doesn't have Epic Hero, which is weird, but
yes, he does.
It's under keywords at the bottom.
At the bottom. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was looking where they put it on Gabriel's Seth sheet, and it was up in the top right, so it's having a different place, which is weird.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Space Wolves.
I could be wrong. I think let's go to the Space Wolves. This is what you guys want to talk about. Let's hear it.
I'm ready to bitch in a minute, so we'll get past this.
So the Space Wolf one, this is the first of the Marine reveals where I was just like, eh? It was the Deeds of Worthy Saga detachment rules just left me like wanting something. It's like, oh look, you have to do this incredibly hard thing to get something that's at best. it didn't seem that impressive. I could be wrong, but this just didn't scream strong to me.
I disagree. I think it's harder to get, but you have more buffs, and they're all permanent once you get them. You kill, one or more characters in a battle round, and it's not in melee. If one or a deputy star's character models from your army destroyed one or more character models, then every one of your melee weapons are now sustained hits 1. That's really strong.
It's strong, but it's hard to do because your characters typically have to kill another character in close combat.
Yeah,
So
all of these are, and I think I missed this earlier, all of these are only completed if a character does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a saga. That's what.
Yeah, I thought any Space Wolf unit could do it. I misunderstood that. Okay.
You're overlucky. You could get all 4 of them.
Yeah.
If you're excruciatingly lucky, yes.
I mean, Hero Hammer is Space Wolves.
Without seeing point costs, as we all know, if their characters are within the ballpark of where they are now, how many are you bringing?
I mean, but look at Saga of the Bear. That one's super easy to get if you really want to, and then your entire army gets Field of Pain.
Yeah, literally 1 sniper rifle shot to the face, you fail or save, now everyone has 6 up Field of Pain.
Yeah. Are you taking wounds? I'm gonna take on the character first.
You could technically cheat. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this. Never mind. We're only talking about officially released information.
Correct.
So with precision hits, you can allocate. I mean, you can pick a character in the squad.
Yeah.
So and there's a stratagem for that. There's sniper rifles for that. So we'll leave it at that. I don't think they're that bad. I agree with Brian that depending on the matchup, they may not happen, but these are strong buffs.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I like them. I liked them a lot more when I thought any Space Wolf could do them.
No, if it was any Space Wolf, entirely different question. I would be very happy about it, but it just doesn't seem it. So let's move on to the Hounds of Mordecai. Or Morkia, however you say it.
All right. Hey, look, guys. Reavers. Reavers.
I mean, it's nice that they have a 6-up invul.
That's cool.
Yeah, but we can move on. We can go on. Okay. Go on, Bloody.
Hey, wait, though, Tom. They have a 4-up
Davis
invul
got
against
you, Tom.
Psychic. They're basically Black Templars that are furries.
Yeah, okay, we're going to move on so after that.
So, Blood Angels.
Oh, my God. I hate everything. All right. I want to be clear. I'm a Blood Angels main. That was my first army. All my Marines are painted red. I played Fire Lizards this weekend at MCM because I have Blood Angels. Blood Angels are my boys. This blows. I hate it.
I disagree 100%.
No. So the math on this is, let me rephrase that. This rule is fine if we get into a meta where people are forced or are incentivized to bring all comers lists, whereas you don't have to jam into large numbers of vehicles. Because I know every weapon that exists in a Blood Angels list that people have been bringing for the last 2 years, and there's nothing that's supposed to be better against vehicles that Blood Angels play than Thunderhammers, and a strength 9 Thunderhammer that does 2 damage is not on, and we don't even have those typically on non-jump pack units other than the Death Company unit, which that's always the wildly most expensive unit is a jump pack Thunderhammer Death Company. There's nothing in a Blood Angels list that you would typically play that's supposed to be able to answer mass vehicles. So this is concerning for me from that standpoint. If you're not worried about playing mass vehicles, this rule's great. And it's probably better than the old rule if you think you're going to be playing against infantry, bikes, or monsters or whatever most of the time. But if you expect you're playing any reasonable number of vehicles, this rule is dramatically worse. That you have... The nice thing was, like, little nonsense dudes were valuable in Blood Angels, like little infantry, assault intercessors or regular intercessors, incursors, infiltrators, whatever. You got value out of those because you were still wounding everything on a minimum of 5 with your regular dude that had no special weapons. Regular dude's still going to be wounded in anything that's not another infantry on 6. That's a problem to me. You can't drown vehicles and weight of dice with your derpy guys. You don't have dedicated anti-tank weapons in melee. Thunderhammer being strength 9, AP 2 damage, you're not going to be able to get enough of those attacks that you're going to be able to pick up vehicles when you need to with efficient trades. I'm very concerned about this. Now, I will say, as a Blood Angels player, this could just force my lamenting of the Blood Angels suffering from this is specific to the list that people have played for the last 5 or 6 years. So does that mean that there's not another version of Blood Angels that's more all-comersy that looks like a generic Space Marine list that has some Blood Angel stuff sprinkled in that could be effective with this list? That could still happen. There could be stratagems that could change this and make them way better. There could be a +1 to wound stratagem. We could all of a sudden make jump pack, deep striking great again as a theme for Blood Angels. That would be great. But just on the basic combat math, this is not good for what we all think is going to be a meta that forces people or encourages people to play vehicles out of the gate.
The thing is, you got to think about it, is that it's not just melee attacks target vehicles, even shooting. Like, even a multi being strength 9, most vehicles we've seen are toughness 10 or more. Like, everything's wounding vehicles a lot harder. And I think it's okay. Like, I think hopefully we see the prices reflect that. If not, we'll figure it out. But I don't know, man. I think the one thing the one strength, yeah, it's a big nerf from the +1 to wound, but you get an extra attack as well, right?
And that's great. And like I said, if you're not fighting vehicles, that's better for sure.
Yeah.
This is one of the times where I can go, without seeing the whole picture, it doesn't look that strong. Once we see the whole picture, that may change.
Yeah. Like I said, they could be shifting the theme with where they focus the stratagems, and that could completely change the playstyle. But if we just, I am aware of every competitive Blood Angels list since the beginning of 8th to the end of 9th. There's no version of it where people are just playing all Blood Angels units. That's the nice thing about Blood Angels army in particular compared to, maybe Dark Angels does it more, but compared to Space Marine or Space Wolves or Black Templars, you are typically playing almost only Blood Angel specific units in the list that we've seen for the last 5 or 6 years. This would not benefit that specific type of build. It would, maybe other builds will be viable.
Hopefully. All right, so moving on to Gabriel.
Well, hold on real quick. I want to go to look at Death Company Intercessors real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I want to open up a small debate real quick. If we look at a Power Fist and a Thunderhammer, we kind of hit on it a little bit. We didn't really get into it. Which one do you think is better? The Power Fist hits on 3s instead of 4s, but a Thunderhammer is devastating wounds.
Devastating wounds is the mortals.
You can't bank on devastating wounds.
Yeah. Devastating wounds is the mortals one, right?
It also depends on the cost. So right now for infantry, I think Thunderhammers are 12 points, Power Fist is 10 points. So it's a points game, but the fact that you're hitting one less and you may get devastating wounds on a 6 to wound, I wouldn't bank on it. I would probably just take a Power Fist.
Also, to be clear, this is Death Company Intercessors, and unless they're changing the other side of this card, you can only put that on the Sergeant currently.
Yep.
Which is how it is now, Lyle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like, unless they're going to change it to let us have it on more, I didn't even, no one even played this unit because you can't put enough weapons on them.
I'm just comparing the 2 weapon profiles.
Yeah,
Power
for sure.
Fist versus the Thunderhammer argument right now is, I think the Power Fist is just generically overall better, because with the Thunderhammer, with the -1, with hitting on a 4 versus hitting on a 3, I'm hitting more with the Power Fist with an equal number of attacks. When you're throwing 3 attacks, the majority of the time you're probably going to get 2 at most with the Thunderhammer, but there's times where that's going to go south on you and you're going to roll a 1, a 3, and a 4, and you're getting 1 hit. The odds of getting the devastating wounds aren't that great.
Well, if you also just compare it to the Blood Angels rule that we just talked about, if you want to maximize your value there with that extra attack per model, 67% for that extra attack to matter versus 50%. I mean, it's going to add up the more models you have for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's a 70% decrease in hitting for a 17% chance of doing more to wounds instead of. So, I don't know. I'd have to do the math on it, because since it's AP2, the devastating wound still might be the better option. Because you're going to think on a 3-up body, so MEQ, you're going to have a 5-up save against them. Or when you do get it off, it's just an automatic 2. I don't know. It's a good.
Well, the other thing also to remember that might change your math, Tom, is don't forget that Blood Angels will still have access to Oath of Moment. So you will be able to pick full rerolls on something, even if you're hitting on 4s. You'll be able to reroll. If you need to fish for 6s, you'll be rerolling wounds if you want to in that unit as well.
Well, with Oath of Moment, I think with rerolls, I think the devastating wounds is the much better option.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about. Anyways, we got 9 minutes. We gotta get through this. So I've delayed this long enough. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Gabriel Seth, I don't really think we need to talk about because I think he does the exact same thing that he currently does. I don't think they changed it.
Not so good.
Juicy pop.
So real quick with the intercessors, I just want to point out the fact that there's only one profile for bolt rifles now.
Yeah.
They got rid of all the other bolt rifles that were silly. No one could tell the difference. So, and they do get rerolls to hit, period, which is pretty strong. So Black Templars, Tom, this is all you, buddy. This is your baby right here.
Yeah, I went on my rant. You go on yours.
Dude, Black Templars, boy, do they look good right now, right? Like, the fact you still get your vows, I love it. Get to choose it every game. Giving your guys all your melee weapons either lethal hits, feel no pain, and a better leadership. 4 bid ones get psychic attacks. Like, imagine playing against Grey Knights. Like, when I'm thinking about playing Grey Knights and I saw this, I was like, maybe I don't play Grey Knights because if I get put against Black Templars, that's rough. Everyone's at 4 Binvoln against me. And then you also have sustain hits, which I think the lethal hits is better than sustain hits, but who knows? Maybe if you're going against a Horde army, I can see where lethal hit or sustain would be better than lethal. But I mean, just saying, like, all 4, unlike last edition where 1, maybe 2 vows are really good, they're all great. I love it. I love seeing like lethal hits. So everyone knew when I played Templars, the strat I used the most was Gene Mop, and and the fact that your whole army just gets it now, like Crusader spam's back, baby. Crusader spam.
Speaking of spam, talk about these Primaris Sword Brethren, Tom, trying to keep us under 8 o'clock here.
Whew. I mean, it depends on their point values for me before we get into them. They have a cool, like, the Valswarm Bladesman is pretty cool. The one flavor thing they had going for them was that they didn't suffer the negative to the Vows. Well, there's no negatives anymore. So that's another cool thing with the Vows. Like, they're just straight buffs now. But really, like, I think first off, they're beautiful models. So they have the rule cool right there. They have some cool profiles. It's just hard to talk about whether they're going to be good or not until we see the points, in my opinion.
Built-in +1 damage just seems nice on any unit for sure.
I love the combi weapons. I don't care what anybody says. I know they changed them up a lot, but that anti-infantry 4+ to get a critical wound and then it turns into a devastating wound is bonkers to me. I know it's only damage 1, but man, that seems good.
That's just the bolter portion. There's still probably the melts of the plasma, the flamer, or the grab.
No, the way the combi weapons all work now is they just get that stat line.
Really? That's weird to me. Why make 4 different versions of the same gun?
Well, I mean, they've basically made it so when you have combi weapons, it doesn't matter what it is. It just has that rule of devastating wounds.
I'm excited to see what the point values for a Sword Brother are going to be. I mean, there is, like I said, the Valswarm Bladesman is a cool thing. You get to choose every fight phase. Give an extra attack, you're going against a Horde unit, or bringing back damage 3 Thunderhammers. Like, sounds legit, but keep in mind, and I don't think they see it, and we don't see it in here. And the current edition on these, you couldn't just spam weapons. You could take 2 of each one, right? And it's only can only take 2 if you had 10 guys. If you had 5 guys, you can only take 1 of each special weapon. So it depends on what we see there, because we can't see it all yet.
I'm thinking that master-crafted power sword. I'm not going to lie. Strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage, potential of being 3 damage with 4 attacks.
Well, if this sheet right here shows us that that's what it's going to be, and there's no more limitation what weapons you can take, having a squad of Thunderhammers with Oath a moment is going to be insane. Damage 3, doing devastated wounds, like that's a lot of damage there. But once again, we got to see the points.
All right, Death Watch. I
didn't read
Death
these.
Watch.
I don't know what they do.
I actually like Death Watch. It gives you a lot of tactical flexibility. Like, you could get your entire army shooting, and for 1 turn, sustain hits. You could get lethal hits for your entire army, or you could get precision. Tell me how that's not killing characters. Tell me how that's not just getting so many shots it's not even funny.
Precision precision army-wide comboing with Otho moments, moments, still being a thing they get, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know what they do. 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 I don't know what they
I'd rather just play Black Templars.
I don't know. The Deathwatch Thunderhammer may change your mind.
Let's see. Let's look at this Deathwatch Thunderhammer down here.
It's
Death
3
Watch,
damage, strength 10.
3 damage, strength 10. Still gets devastating wounds.
Yeah, I would still play Black Templars.
So it depends on how popular Space Marines are going to be, because they actually get full rerolls against anything that's not Imperial or Chaos too.
Like the thing is like you gotta remember, like if you're impressed by 3 damage Thunderhammers, you can get a squad that always has 3 damage Thunderhammers as well.
Depends. I mean, depends on the makeup. So
yeah. The only difference is to be less strength, but.
All right. Well, tomorrow we get the real reveal, the one we've all been waiting for, guys.
Titans.
White Scars. Oh, Titan. Okay.
White Scars. I love it.
So, all right, so we got a couple minutes left. So what are we ranking these armies just based off these sheets? Like, how excited were we when we look at this?
The question you have to ask yourself right now: if I asked you guys who you thought the top army is right now, just from the previews, what would you guys pick?
Are we talking just these or all previews?
Period.
I don't know. Grey Knights that's hard to beat.
Grey Knights,
Demon.
GSC, and probably just generic Space Marines.
Yeah, my problem with GSC as a top army is like I think it was Nick Rose was talking in chat about it, that they used to have this rule in a different edition, and Eldar just hard countered them because the bikes would just fly over everything, suicide, and kill all the blips. So he's adamant that having played this rule before, it's not as good as it looks.
I don't think it's as good as it looks either, and I think there's a lot of armies that can go with it. I still think demons are really, really strong. Like the fact that, for example, Belcourt can be like, hey, you can't shoot me unless I'm in 12 inches. And then he can also do that to, like, other things as well. Like, imagine, like, 2 Keeper Secrets just sit next to him. Like, by the way, you can't shoot us unless you get within 12 inches of us. Like
I feel like top 5 are still Demons, Marines, Grey Knights. Probably Imperial Knights are still crazy. And I guess that 4 spot's kind of up to your flavor.
I don't know if Imperial Knights are crazy. I just think they had a really good entry.
I thought Demons was number 1, and I thought Grey Knights has the potential to be number 2, depending on how the point values are. I thought Marines were number 3. I really think after this review, in my personal opinion, I think Marines are number 2 right now. Like, there's a lot of flavor here, and the cool thing about it is that they all play differently, so you can't really bring like one list that can take them all on because they all gonna play.
Do we think that with the amount of diversity that we've seen coming, right? This is just a mull it over and think about it for another episode. Do we think that take on all comers lists are actually going to have to be viable? You're going to have to kind of prep?
I don't think you make a attack list, to be honest with you. You can do your best, but I think you're going to have matchups that they're just going to fall flat, in my opinion. Before we go, we're going to go a little bit later. We'll go about 5 minutes later. I want to have a question I want to ask you guys, and Brian just reminded me kind of the way he worded his question. We've also seen something else today, right? Forgeworld goes the way of the dodo in competitive games. How do we feel?
Not all of it.
Well, tournament.
The Imperial Knights and Custode models stay.
So I think the shadiest part about it is the fact that they're releasing all these brand new, beautiful plastic kits. And a whole lot of people, including myself, purchased several of these plastic kits with the sole intention of being able to use it in 40K. And it's widely available. They're always on the shelf at the store. They're way more available than Eldar, half the Eldar range, right? Try getting a Banshee or Recruit Hounds when I could go get a Kratos battle tank from Horus Heresy. And then the fact that you cannot use those tanks leads me to believe one of 2 things. 1, GW doesn't like money. Or 2, there's going to be a follow-up. And they're going to be like, well, you can use the plastic kits, right?
I don't think so. Personally, and I hate to be the guy that's like defending Big Brother, right? But the kits were always advertised as Horus Heresy. They never once really advertised them for 40K, right? And
they always said there was
now.
40K companion rules.
Yes, they did, but it was never advertised that it was made for 40K. They had these rules you could get that were sometimes updated, sometimes they're not. I personally think it's very healthy for the game. And I feel bad for people who invested in and can't use them in 40K anymore. But when we look at the overstay of the game, we've always complained about needing so many books to look up your own rules. Not to mention now your opponents need to try to sort through all these rules, and it causes a lot of bloat, games to be slower, and then also some gotcha moments. I think getting rid of all these extra sources and having people, when you want to play in a tournament, to have only certain things you can go through.
Space Marines had already have an obscene amount of data sheets that we know about. You're talking about adding another 30 plus on top of that to the obscenity that the amount of obscene they had. I mean, yes, I feel bad for people that went out and bought a Leviathan Dreadnought and have just finished painting it, hoping to bring it to the first event they go to. That sucks. It's terrible. Message your TO and go, hey, can I run this as a Brutalis? Pretty sure the TO is going to go, absolutely.
Yeah. My concern also is that their reasoning doesn't make sense. That they said we're getting rid of these Horus Heresy models, and then they got rid of models that you can't play in the Horus Heresy, like the Brass Scorpion. That people love that thing.
There's a whole, I think more than Space Marines, Chaos got a little bone on it.
Yeah.
There's several units you can't take in Horus Heresy.
And honestly, I might be biased, but nerf Chaos more, please. Eventually squat them. Get rid of them, boys. We don't need them anymore.
Can someone confirm for me that they did not address any armies that don't exist in Horus Heresy? So I still have all of my different Riptides that I can play.
They did not address that.
Okay.
They didn't address anything that wasn't
a faction that exists in Horus Heresy.
At all. Yeah.
Okay. So I still got my big chunky Riptides from Forgeworld.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Well, I mean, didn't they discontinue the two Tau suits recently?
I don't know. I've got mine. And I'm happy.
What, you talking about the Taunar?
No. So the I don't remember their names. There's like the two Riptide variants.
Oh yeah, I have them both.
Yeah, I don't remember what they're called.
No, and I feel bad. I feel bad that some people are gonna have some financial difficulty. I'll tell you guys right now, at any DOG events, we will allow you guys to run them as proxies. And then each DOGTO, some of them sound like they're gonna allow them completely, some won't. So it's up to each TO. But I think on an overall state of the game, getting rid of extra sources of rules, because we remember 8th edition and beginning 9th edition. By the way, this is my Raven Guard army, except they're Minotaurs, or what was that other chapter? The Raptors, right? Except it's actually these guys.
Red Scorpions, something like that.
Too. Yeah.
No, those aren't going away, Tom. Minotaurs are still a thing. It's the Horus Heresy plastic kits that are going away.
Yeah, they didn't say you can't play those Forge World chapters. They didn't say that.
Yeah, but I think all Forge World models are Legends now, ain't they? Besides
no,
they didn't. They did not list anything with a character name. So like any chapters that has Forge World character support might still be
on a couple of the lines. Yeah. They said select. If you look at the write up, so there's going to be some things that port over.
Yeah,
the fact that the big thing is you can still use the Demios Rhino as a Rhino. You can still use the Land Raider as a Land Raider. There's the Predator, which looks so much better than the Predator that's 20 plus years old. Those things you can use as those. They kind of stated that pretty much flat out in the article. So, yes, it stinks that you're not going to be able to run your double Volkite Contemptor Dreadnought. But
that's probably the biggest thing. That has been showing up all editions.
Rules.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Because there is a Contemptor Dreadnought kit that is 40k and released with Custodes. So why can't they just change the rules?
So my guess is that Custodes are probably going to lose that Contemptor Dreadnought. My guess.
I don't know.
They may be the one army that gets the Contemptor Dreadnought. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we're just projecting at this point. We have no clue.
Yeah,
I think you're losing a little bit of character. Like all the rules.
Yeah.
As soon
I
as
would
this
like to
edition
see some of that
launches, all
stuff
the
go
rules
to
are the
Chaos. Like I would love to see Chaos be able to have a Contemptor Dreadnought.
No, they don't need
because all their tech's old and they're not getting new tech, so they're finding old tech and bringing it back. I would like to see some of that stuff, but there's a lot of bloat right now on the Marine side of things, and cutting some of it down is okay with me.
I feel like the people that get hurt hardest by this, I don't know how much it's an argument against it, but I feel like Death Guard really get shafted here because the Death Guard Codex is so thin and they have so few options. And so, especially when it came to shooting, you really had to go to Forge World. Like, there's Death Guard list's been doing well. All edition that had Contemptor Dreadnoughts as the only source of shooting. I feel like they kind of get hurt the most out of this.
They could always switch to Marines. Better option.
You try to convince my wife
Come
that,
the
Tom.
Emperor, baby. Come the Emperor.
Is Heidi playing Death Guard, Lyle?
Well, she owns Death Guard. Right now, I think she's playing. I think she's planning on playing Votan for 10th edition. She's been painting them up.
Nice.
So.
Votan.
All right. So do we have any closing thoughts? Closing thoughts, guys?
So thesaltcitygt.com. If you want to come to a fun event that's well run, put together with tons of prizes, sign up today.
Let's do it, boys. Go to the Salt City. You know, you're going to see a lot of us there. Brian's a great TO. And I think it's going to be the next good GT that's on the book. So, in the 1st and the 10th, that's my goal. Let's run up Salt City.
And Lyle? Any closing thoughts, Lyle?
I, at this time next weekend, will be the best Salamanders player in the world. Bank it.
Oh.
And on that note, I'm going to go eat some tacos. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this podcast. And thank you, everybody, to getting us to 1,000. I think our next goal is what? Could be 2,000? I think we could do that pretty quickly. So
1,005 is our next goal.
1,005? All right. You heard it from Tom. 1,005. We've already beat that, but we're going for 1,005.
Oh, 1,010. We already did it. 1,010. Baby goals, guys. Baby goals.